Welcome to CMU Live. I'm Dr. Amy Bronson. I'm really glad that you are joining us today. Today with me is my colleague and co-chair of the Infectious and Communicable Disease Advisory Committee, Andy Tyler. Andy, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. If you haven't had the chance to tune in on an episode that Andy has been on, Andy has really come on as a powerhouse on our team and really helping us in our disease mitigation and response here on the CMU campus before you joined the team and now getting to be the co-chair, and just can't thank you enough for all that you have done as we address COVID.
I appreciate that. I always love coming on to the Facebook Live and just getting to talk all things health here at CMU.
Yeah, love that. We have a really great show today. We have a couple of guests that are going to join us, but before we get to that, this is typically our first conversation that we like to have when we kick off the show is a little bit about COVID. So I think a COVID update, Andy, what does the landscape look like as we continue with our spring semester?
Yes, a COVID update. So I'm happy to really be able to report that we are seeing decreasing numbers of cases here within our CMU community, which is mirroring what is happening in our larger Mesa County community and that on the western slope. So that's the good news, I think, is that we are seeing that decreasing amount of cases. We have not seen the disruption in academic settings that we were looking to avoid early on in the semester. But what I also, of course, always need to point out from a public health lens is while we are seeing these decreasing cases, we on the health team are certainly not letting our guard down. We know that COVID can be a tricky thing. It can be hard to predict. And so we are continuing to monitor case activity. We are continuing to monitor activity within classrooms, within extracurricular and athletic settings. And I just really encourage everybody at home, students on campus, to do the same and not let our guards down and make sure that we can continue this semester seeing decreasing case counts and overall just not letting COVID disrupt activity here on campus.
That's exactly right. And I appreciate you bringing up the team is still hard at work in continuing to look for ways that we continue to live alongside what has become a part of our daily lives here and continue to do that with our big announcement. I think that we get to talk about here is HealthyU at CMU is a new initiative that we are pushing forward here at CMU as we continue to think about what we have learned having to deal with infectious and communicable disease here on the CMU campus, but more importantly, what we have learned about the importance of health and wellness as we continue to combat that together as we continue to make this the healthiest campus possible. And so we are really excited to what we are talking about is making it more of a macroscopic lens of how we are looking at health and wellness. Certainly infectious and communicable disease is a part of what we continue to look at, but really starting to understand what it is on our campus that continues to keep mind, body wellness in check as we continue to learn and live together and lead together this semester here at Colorado Mesa University. So as you see, our new logo is going to be rolling out, which we're really excited about. You'll start seeing health tips if you haven't noticed that on the data dashboard. Those health tips are going to be then a part of what we are rolling out on our new website as we're continuing to look at what it looks like here at CMU to be able to utilize tools and strategies that we already have and can continue to utilize in what we're doing here at CMU. So with that, and with talking about health and wellness, I think one of the exciting things that we get to do is have our first guest that's joining us here today. Emily Thom is joining us from the Maverick Center, and her role here has really been overseeing health and wellness here at CMU. So Emily, tell us a little bit about your job, your role here at CMU, and how you got interested in this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a CMU alumni, majored in exercise science. I started working at CMU as a personal trainer and group exercise instructor shortly after that. And then I had the opportunity to kind of be promoted into my more managerial role now, where I kind of oversee the wellness services at the rec center and kind of help with the daily happenings at the rec.
Love that.
Yeah.
So in your role, managing and getting to oversee some of these daily things happening at the rec, what are some of those things? What do we offer, and what can both students, faculty, and staff sort of think about when they are looking at, hey, I think I might want to come check it out?
Yeah, well, the rec has so much to offer. We have over 23 group exercise classes weekly.
Wow.
that are free for students and rec members. We have classes anywhere from spin, Zumba, core and strength classes. We also have a bunch of services, personal training services, massage therapy, nutrition counseling. We also have an amazing facility with basketball courts, racquetball, squash, pool, lots of workout areas. We also have a juice junction, so if you want a smoothie before or after your workout. And we also host rec events. So we've done anything from glow in the dark Zumba to Gobble Wobble 5K. We've also done like pickleball tournaments. So
Love that. Something for everyone.
Yes,
really.
yes.
Anything
Is
you
that
can
what it
think
is?
of.
And I love talking about events because there was a great event that recently happened, and we've talked about partnerships, and really what HealthyU is going to bring together is all these really great things that are happening on campus, and looking for ways that we can partner with other great things that are happening on campus and really bring together a health hub here at CMU. And one of those things was the Spinning for Scholarship event that I know we did with the Alumni Association. And just want to give a shout out to Emma Lienerman and Jared Meyer for their work and really bringing that together in partnership with the REC to really look at how can we take exercise and this fun of being together and turn it into an event. And I think we have a really great video to be able to share about this. But this event was a spinning class that happened over the noon hour, and people donated money towards scholarships to come and be a part of this really fun event. The event raised over $400 for scholarships, so it's something that is not only impacting people's health and wellness and getting to be together in a group and doing something really fun, but also being able to impact our students and helping to have scholarships down the road. And that's really what we're looking at as we continue to look at these HealthyU connections that we can make on campus. So we have all these classes happening. What's kind of the most exciting class that people are currently interested in and wanting to do a lot of?
Actually, we've had a huge interest in martial arts style classes.
Interesting.
We did a survey recently, and that's what a lot of students said they wanted. So we've added a kickboxing class that has been doing really well. And just last week, we saw a huge jump in our spin classes. We've also added a bar class recently. If you're not familiar with that, it's kind of a mix between ballet, Pilates, yoga, and strength training.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so that's kind of a fun one we've recently added and had some good attendance with.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I love thinking about there's so many different ways that you can engage in just exercising and moving. And I think it is so easy to think, well, I have to go to a class to do this. But I also know that we have a 5K ability to be able to do that around our campus. Talk a little bit about what that is also like. And you talked about the Gobble Wobble that we do. Maybe touch on what those events are and how people can access that if they're not, maybe interested in even going to the gym right now.
Yeah, right. So actually on our website, we have a link to our 5K course, and it's around campus, so you can check out the course and run it anytime on your own. But every year around Thanksgiving, we do the Gobble Wobble 5K, and it's to raise money for the food bank here on campus.
Nice.
And it's just a really good thing we do around Thanksgiving to kind of give back to our CMU community, and it's a 5K run, and it's fun, and you can also walk it if you want, but it's just for a great cause and to get people out there being active and healthy.
That's neat. So if you could give our campus and those watching kind of one wellness tip, what would be sort of your wellness tip for us today?
I would say to just do it. Just get
that.
started and do it. I feel like people a lot of times overthink things, or they tend to think about how hard something's going to be, but you can just do it and focus on how you're going to feel after and focus on the benefits from it. I think that's what you should do.
That's neat. I love that. And I love that you pointed out that you began your journey with the REC through starting out as a personal trainer. And I know you guys offer those services. So if people are hesitant or nervous about accessing the REC, talk a little bit about what are some of those points that you have for helping people feel like they can just do it.
Right. Well, I mean, we have our personal trainers and our group exercise instructors. And I feel like if you're hesitant to get started, that is a great place to start. I mean, they're going to help you get the confidence you need. They're going to help you have the accountability. They're going to help you achieve your goals and just really help you get started and point you in the right direction. That's what they're there for.
That's great. Well, I really appreciate the work that you are doing in the rec and really making it accessible and creating avenues for all sorts of people to want to come and be a part of what you all are doing there. It's so important to our culture that we have around wellness and around engaging people in physical activity. So thank you for the work that you do, and we look forward to ways that we can continue to partner.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me
Absolutely,
today.
absolutely. And I think as we talk about how important the rec center is, Emily did mention that go ahead and go to the website. The Hamilton Recreation Center has such a great website and can give you all the classes that are happening. And you can really see in real time some of those activities and ways that you can engage with all these fun things that are happening at the rec. So I love that health tip. Just go do it.
Go do it. Don't overthink it. I feel like I feel like this myself, is that if I don't have a perfect plan for what I'm going to do, whether it's an exercise or class or learning a new skill, if I don't have it completely squared away, then I don't even want to start it. But of course, that's just preventing me from learning and doing and getting out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And right, learning and doing is all part of what we want to be doing. So please go check out that rec center website. It's got some great ways to get involved, take some extra classes, maybe jump out and do something you've never done. I think that's such an important thing to do as well.
Yeah, I think I wanted to just mention that from Emily, that 5K course. It's really cool here on campus that we have the markers using the Maverick head to show what that track is. So even if you didn't make it for the Gobble Wobble, but you still are interested in running that 5K, you're able to look that up on the website and see exactly what that course is for the 5K.
Such a neat tool.
Yeah.
It's such a great way to get outside, get a little exercise, and
That's right.
What a neat thing. It's great. Well, I talk about just getting in there and getting after it. Our next guest does a whole lot of that. So I'm really excited to get to welcome Wayne Smith. He is not only a chef, but he was the co-creator of the Western Colorado Community College Culinary Arts Program. And he is also the Associate Technical Professor of Culinary Arts. Wayne, thank you for joining us.
Oh, hi, it's good to be here, Dr. Andy. Good to see you.
Yeah, always
Andy,
good. Always good. We have been able to partner through many things, and I know a lot about you, but our CMU Live community doesn't know as much about you. So would love to just hear a little bit about your background and then why your love of food and how we are so lucky that you have brought that here to CMU.
Yeah, it kind of all happened for me by accident. There was never any master plan. I was washing dishes in high school and stuck with where I worked long enough to kind of move up the ranks. And
That's neat.
And I think what really kind of early on, what struck me was just the creative aspects of it, being able, to make meals up and then later comes kind of the hospitality side of it and taking care of people. And that over the years has transitioned into food and health and looking at how the impact of what we eat has on how we feel
Huge.
and our overall health. And so I teach a nutrition class. I have taught in the past a class, Fundamentals of Healthy Cooking, that really was for any student. But as a part of that, as you were alluding to, we met when the physician assistant program started, and I had the opportunity to meet with those students for a day and introduce them to the aspects of diet and the link between diet and health. And they've really taken that ball and run with it, and that's really neat to see with their healthy cooking initiative that they have.
Yeah, it's so neat, and I love that because if you have not had the opportunity to meet Chef Wayne, he's very innovative in his thinking and was willing to sort of lean into this crazy idea of PA students coming to campus, learning in their medical education how important, right, food and nutrition is to health, and really opening up your kitchen and welcoming them in to not only learn about healthy cooking, but how to do that on a budget so that they can take care of themselves, right, as healthcare providers, which then makes them better healthcare providers for those that they serve.
That's exactly right. And the approach we take is like this at this point is for you, because you're heading into a tough time of your life here with the study of that program. It's very rigorous, and they're going to have to take care of themselves to succeed in that. And but then it goes out to their patients. And one of the things I found really somewhat alarming is just how little nutrition, how little attention it gets in a lot of medical education. And so I think it's important that they understand, because the links between diet and health that we look at now of so many chronic illnesses that are directly related to what we eat. So obesity, high blood pressure, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, You know, that so much of that could be controlled if we just paid more attention to what we eat.
Yeah, man, it's so true. And such an easy sort of tip for us to take away, that it's not necessarily these big global changes we need to make, but some of those small daily changes that we can make.
And small changes can make a big difference. That you don't have to completely change what you do. That we're most of the way there. And for most of us, it's we eat too much salt, too much sugar, and too much saturated fat. And so if we can start to limit those a little bit and maybe put a few more vegetables and fruit on our plates, it's going to be for our good.
All better.
Start eating a little more of that rainbow, right?
Yes, exactly. The tasty rainbow.
The tasty rainbow. I think it's really important. You mentioned that we do have some PA students that have really been running with this healthy cooking initiative, and you really have inspired a lot of this capstone project work. And maybe just talking a little bit about what that has looked like, from your willingness to say, hey, come on in the kitchen and let's get messy and figure out how to cook really good food together, to what this has transpired and the impact that it's now having on our community.
Yeah, it started with just, I think, 3 or 4 students in the first cohort that that decided that is what they wanted to focus on for their capstone project. And so we took that ball and ran with it. They were able to write some grants and get some funding to help with that, you know, get some of the tools and ingredients and so forth. And they started opening up classes to the public, reaching out to medical offices. And so now we've kind of reached a point where they're beginning to partner with the lifestyle medicine group at Community Hospital, and they're going to be hosting those classes. And so I think that starts as soon as next week. I think we have our first class for them, and that'll be about 20, 24 people that we'll have in our kitchens. And so not only are they getting to share healthy cooking techniques, but really kind of getting firsthand experience in working with the people that, you know, will be like their patients, and if not their patients, and starting to really get that real world feel for how it's going to go for them. But you know, it's really kind of gratifying and inspiring to see them take it and run with that. It's been really cool.
It's really cool, and I think it's just such a reminder of those small impact items that just continue to have a ripple effect. And I think as we think about the HealthyU initiative, that is really what we are excited to be able to do, is take these really amazing resources already happening here on campus and start making some of those connections to get more people involved.
One of the other things we're doing that really fits into the HealthyU is we were contacted by a member of our community who's concerned about healthy eating, and we started a project in my nutrition class last fall to develop a menu item that would be healthy, plant-based, and could introduce people to maybe healthier ways of eating and offer some good nutrition. And that turned into doing a grain bowl, and that is now being offered in the Point. And so students, faculty, anybody here on campus can go to the Point and get a grain bowl, and this member of our community is underwriting it. So for $2, you can get a great healthy lunch.
It's amazing.
Over there. So we're doing all kinds of fresh veggies, quinoa, tofu, topped with a nice olive oil and a wedge of lemon.
Amazing.
Good food doesn't have to be fancy or complicated. Just, you know, just good ingredients, well prepared.
Yeah. Well, and a good reminder for those that are living on a budget, and this $2, protein bowl, that is such a great way, A, to stave off hunger, B, to make sure that you're getting the healthy nutrients that you need, and go get it at the Point.
Yeah.
That's great.
And one other thing we're doing is you mentioned earlier, the food bank here on campus. They recently got funding to get a freezer, and so we're now able to start packaging meals that we make in our culinary program, so that anyone hungry on campus can get a meal, you know, something they can pop in the microwave and make. And so it'll be a variety of stuff, whatever we're doing in class, and I expect we'll have that available by next week.
That is so great. I love it. So as you think about, you know, we talked to Emily a little bit about those that feel a little intimidated, and her point was just do it. What would you say when thinking about, I think I want to make a change, I'd like to make healthy cooking more a part of my lifestyle? What are your sort of tips and tricks?
Start small. Don't, you know, one of the hard things about eating healthy is we're wired for rewards. And so, we like those brownies and cookies and so forth. So to say you're never going to do that again is setting yourself up for failure. But start small, add some fruits and veggies to your plate at every meal. Start there. Maybe start to work in a whole grain here or there. But keep it simple. Keep it what you're comfortable with. Eat the foods you like. There's plenty of good stuff out there. You don't have to eat something if you don't like it.
Love it.
You can find something else that's healthy that fits the bill.
So you're telling me I don't have to give up my chocolate?
No, actually chocolate, I talked to a cardiologist who's really into healthy cooking, and when he goes out, he has a little card for the chef actually, and he requests for dessert a little bit of dark chocolate, some dried fruit and nuts.
Love it.
Good
I
dessert.
can hang on to that.
That's right.
We'll love it. Well, Chef Wayne, thank you really for
Yeah.
all that you do for this campus community, and we look forward as HealthyU continues to roll out here initiatives and ways that we continue to engage your innovative spirit and ways that we can continue to make our campus aware of all the really neat things that are happening in our culinary programs and getting more people involved.
Yeah, thanks. I look forward to getting involved in HealthyU, not just from this side, but also as a user of it. So
Love it.
Love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
your time and for being on here and all the work that you do for our students and making this campus a great place to be.
thanks.
Yeah. All right. Well, man, a lot of cool things happening on our campus.
Certainly.
I love it. I think when we think about all the things that HealthyU is going to bring together, we do hope it is this really great hub for students, faculty, and staff to be able to access and find really neat opportunities that are happening here on campus. And we look forward to highlighting more things like the outdoor program and all the incredible things that are already happening around health and wellness initiatives on our campus.
That's what I'm really excited for is we have so much going on. It's
do.
really great. And
is.
to be able to highlight it all in one place will be great.
It will be really neat. I think one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we reminded our campus about, as you heard Andy talk about, COVID is still here. It is still around. It's still going to be a topic of conversation. Our team certainly is not letting down any of our strategies around how we're continuing to monitor what's happening on our campus. And part of that has to do with making sure that we still have a lot of tools available. So do not want people to forget about if you are feeling symptomatic, please do go test. We have the Java Hut testing site still up here on the north side of campus. But we really as a team have also said it's really important for those tests to be reserved for those who are symptomatic. It's important to our mitigation strategy and really important to the work that we're doing. If you are not symptomatic, you're testing, maybe you're a close contact, maybe you're just deciding to do a test, please go use our drive-through site. We are getting test results back very quickly.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and we really are encouraging those that don't need that symptomatic testing to please go and use that drive-through site because that is still available. The other really cool thing that I wanted to make sure that our campus was also aware of is what you've been able to do beyond just our classroom illness impact forms and being able to understand classroom potential transmission and how we're really keeping a close eye on that. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you are able to in real time be able to understand what's happening with some of our COVID positive cases?
Sure, yeah, I would love to. So we have in the past and still ongoing, we ask faculty to submit what are called classroom illness impact forms, which help tell us, again, in mostly real time, if a faculty member feels that their classroom is being impacted from COVID typically, but it could be other things as well. And so what we wanted to do was develop a system where we could also, in conjunction with that form, be able to monitor, okay, we are seeing these people coming in that we know have had a positive COVID test who are members of our CMU community. And what I am able to do now with the health team is take a look at those folks over the last week or two who have had a positive test and compare their class schedules to be able to see, are we seeing any unusual change or increase in illness in a particular classroom or set of classrooms or perhaps a department, to be able to try and make sure we address that cluster increase in illness before it becomes a widespread outbreak, which will help maintain the health of our community here at CMU and also really prevent that academic disruption that we do not want from COVID-19.
Yeah, really important and really appreciative of your continued work on that. And I think as we continue to dig into what this looks like in our continued response and mitigation strategy, it really has become about looking beyond yes, we're responding to COVID, but also looking beyond and how we can utilize this infrastructure moving forward to really ensure that our infectious communicable disease response is one that is ready for whatever may come next. The other important thing that we continue to do is monitor, obviously, new variants that are coming on the scene. We've been invited to be a part of a really great group out of Harvard and MIT that have come together around an emerging variants meeting. And so we actually meet every Friday, get to hear globally what's happening and really keeping a pulse on very cutting edge news and data around what may be emerging and what may be impacting our community. And so we will continue to keep our campus updated as we learn more and as we continue to learn about COVID. I think the other important thing is remember and a reminder to our campus community that we also have vaccines and boosters that will be back here on campus. Next campus vaccine clinic, and our team is pulling up the website. It's a great place to just stay updated on when you can access those next vaccines and boosters here on campus. So please keep an eye on that, check that out. We'll continue to keep those resources available to our community. I think the other big thing that I wanted to plug is you heard about a lot of our HealthyU initiatives, and this is just a little teaser for when our website is fully up and running and you see that logo loud and clear. Also be on the lookout for Pilates, maybe some running, maybe some other really fun things happening on campus this semester. So looking forward to engaging all of you in our campus community on all these healthy events as we head into the spring.
It's going to be a fun spring.
It's going to be a really fun spring. We're looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be really good. So we don't have any more questions. If there are questions, if there are things that you would really like our team to address, I like to remind folks that you can now reach us at health@coloradomesa.edu. That is a great way to send us any questions that you may have. Our health team is here. We'd love to have a conversation with you. If that's about COVID, if that's about how to access the rec center, maybe you're interested in some healthy nutrition and cooking classes, we can get you connected to the right people. So be on the lookout for the HealthyU rollout. But in the meantime, stay healthy and well, Mavs, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here in a couple of weeks. Thanks.